on the blessed isles. The figs fall from the trees, they are good and sweet, and as they fall, their red skin ruptures. I am a north wind to ripe figs. Thus, like figs, these teachings fall to you. My friends, now drink their juice and their sweet flesh. It is autumn all around and pure sky and afternoon. See what fullness is around us. And from such superabundance it is beautiful to look out upon distant seas. Once people said God when they gazed upon distant seas, but now I have taught you to say, Overman. God is a conjecture. But I want that your conjecturing not reach further than your creating will. Could you create a God? Then be silent about any gods. But you could well create the Overman. Not you yourselves perhaps, my brothers, but you could recreate yourselves into fathers and forefathers of the Overman, and this shall be your best creating. God is a conjecture. But I want your conjecturing to be limited to what is thinkable. Could you think a God? But let this mean will to truth to you, that everything be transformed into what is humanly thinkable, humanly visible, humanly feelable. You should think your own senses to their conclusion. And what you called world, that should first be created by you, your reason, your image, your will. Your love itself it should become. And truly, for your own bliss, you seekers of knowledge. And how would you bear life without this hope, you seekers of knowledge? Neither into the incomprehensible nor into the irrational could you have been born. But to reveal my entire heart to you, my friends, if there were gods, how could I stand not to be a god? Therefore there are no gods. I drew this conclusion to be sure, but now it draws me. God is a conjecture, but who could drink all the agony of this conjecture without dying? Should the creating person's faith be taken, and from the eagle its soaring in eagle heights? God is a thought that makes crooked everything that is straight, and causes everything that stands to turn. What? Should time be gone, and all that is not everlasting be merely a lie? To think this causes whirling and dizziness to human bones and even vomiting to the stomach. Indeed, the turning disease I call it, to conjecture such things. Evil I call it and misanthropic. All this teaching of the one and the plenum and the unmoved and the sated and the everlasting. All that is everlasting, that is merely a parable. And the poets lie too much. But the best parables should speak about time and becoming, they should be praise and justification of all that is not everlasting. Creating, that is the great redemption from suffering. And life's becoming light. But in order for the Creator to be, suffering is needed and much transformation. Indeed, much bitter dying must be in your life, you creators. Therefore you are advocates and justifiers of all that is not everlasting. In order for the Creator himself to be the child who is newly born, he must also want to be the birth-giver and the pain of giving birth. Indeed, through 100 souls I went my way and through 100 cradles and pangs of birth. Many a farewell have I taken already. I know the heartbreaking final hours. But thus my creating will wills it, my destiny. Or, to tell it more honestly to you, just such a destiny, my will wills. Everything that feels, suffers in me and is in prison, but my will always comes to me as my liberator and bringer of joy. Willing liberates. That is the true teaching of will and liberty, thus Zarathustra teaches it. No more willing and no more esteeming and no more creating. Oh, if only this great weariness would always keep away from me. Even in knowing I feel only my will's lust to beget and to become, and if there is innocence in my knowledge, then this happens because the will to beget is in it. Away from God and gods this will lured me. What would there be to create, after all, if there were gods? but I am always driven anew to human beings by my ardent will to create, thus the hammer is driven toward the stone. O you human beings, in the stone sleeps an image, the image of my images. A shame it must sleep in the hardest, ugliest stone. Now my hammer rages cruelly against its prison. Shards shower from the stone. What do I care? I want to perfect it. For a shadow came to me, the stillest and lightest of all things once came to me. The overman's beauty came to me as a shadow. Oh, my brothers! Of what concern to me any more, are gods? Thus spoke Zarathustra.